we have the winners and the losers of the trade deadline. And I'm going to start on a positive note. I'm going to start with the winners. I have Dallas as a winner right now, just because, as much as I don't know how to think about it in terms of the Micah Parsons trade. I know that getting a freaking beast on the interior is such a good move. Look at the Chiefs and Chris Jones. Some edge rushers get all the love, but sometimes a dominant pass rushing interior defensive lineman does so much work, especially with how many teams just don't value interior offensive line. Like, that's a good move. That's a really, really good move. The Jets I also have on here because I just love that mentality of, getting all of those picks in and like letting Aaron Glenn really build the team the way he wants to. I have Daniel Jones on here as well because come the end of this season, he's gonna have some pretty good leverage. I'll be like, really? You're gonna tell me you're not gonna re-sign me? You're gonna go with Anthony Richardson when you don't have your own first round pick? He's gonna hit the LeBron. Like, I have no idea how I could recreate it, but yeah, no, you're not doing that. Yeah, give me my money, give me my long term extension. He is gonna be in a really, really good spot for that. And then I have Sauce and Quinnen Williams. Not necessarily because the Jets are just such a disaster, yada yada. Again, I like what they're doing now with the organization, but they were very clearly now they were going to be on a team that is not going to contend in the next few years, and now they're going to a 7-2 team, and the Cowboys who are 3-5-1, but at least it's better than the Jets. Now for the losers, this is where I'm going to spend a bit more time. I have the two teams that didn't sell as much as they should have. I have Tennessee and Miami. The fact that Tennessee at the end of this is going to come out with a fourth for Draymond Jones, and that's it, is unbelievable. And such Tennessee, man, I hate the way they run their organization so much. The fact that they didn't look to move anybody else. Arden Key, really? I feel like so many teams could have used an Arden Key, and they would happily give him a 6th or a 7th round pick. And instead, he's just going to sit there and rot, probably be walk at the end of this year, and you just get nothing for him. Why? Just trade your freaking vets. Why are you not looking to move Calvin Ridley? Go get a 4th for Calvin Ridley and move on. What is Calvin Ridley going to do for your team right now? But yeah, I don't know. The fact that Tennessee ends up making one trade is crazy to me. Oh, I guess they traded Roger McCreary earlier, but they have a couple of vets who they're just hanging on to for no reason. Next one, Miami. Same vein. Why the hell is Bradley Chubb on your roster? What are you going to do with him? Even if the best offer you got was a 4th, take the 4th. Because you don't have Jalen Phillips. Your team's very clearly rebuilding. So by the time you're ever going to need Bradley Chubb's services, it's going to be 3 years from now and you'll be 34 and not on your team. So I don't get that one. I would have kind of pulled the Jets and potentially looked to move Waddle because teams would have given you more than a first round pick because he's young, he's dynamic, and kind of the same problem of what are you going to do with Jalen Waddle? It's probably not going to be used with Tua right now or past this year. So I would have sort of struck right now when teams are very clearly desperate to desperate to go for the championship because it's so open this year. And again, that's my bigger general takeaway of the league is at such a high state of parity right now. There are so many teams who could win the championship that I feel like any team that is struggling that didn't give up an asset during this trade deadline probably wasn't thinking too hard. That is something where teams were very clearly willing to overpay at the deadline. Jalen Phillips should not have gone for a 3rd. Sauce Gardner shouldn't have gone for 2 firsts. Quinnen Williams shouldn't have been a 1st and a 2nd. But teams are desperate. Next big loser I have is Cincinnati. The fact that they didn't move Hendrickson is fucking baffling. I don't understand what the hell they're doing. I know Mike Brown is a giant idiot who, should not be an owner, and holy shit, for the sake of Bengals fans, one day he should sell the team. Because not moving Trey Hendrickson was genuinely one of the dumbest moves any team has made in the past year. I don't get it. They didn't move him in the offseason where they could have gotten a 1st and change. They didn't move him at the trade deadline where they could have gotten a 2nd because they held out on a 1st. What is he going to do? This is I'm a Niners fan, so this one's really frustrating to me because we tried to call for Hendrickson for weeks. Hendrickson is now just going to walk at the end of this year, and you're getting a comp third round pick in 2027. Yeah, that math, that's right. What the hell? Why? What is a 2027 third round pick going to do for your roster of, Joe Burrow eventually, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and no defense? Like, this made what the Bengals did with Trey Hendrickson just makes absolutely no sense. If you know you didn't want to extend him, trade him. Like, trade him in the offseason when you could have gone to first. You could have used that first round pick in the draft and potentially taken someone else, not Shamar Stewart, who doesn't do anything. And I feel like 100 draft scouts could have told you he's not going to do anything. Cincinnati, man. Organizational incompetence. I still find it baffling that this team was this close to beating Kansas City 2 years ago in the AFC Championship and did beat them 3 years ago and probably should have a ring. Whatever. The another team I have on here is the Niners. The fact that we didn't make any moves at the deadline is really baffling to me. The Super Bowl is in your freaking stadium, and you're 6-3, 3-0 in division. You pulled off a win with Mac Jones at quarterback against the freaking Rams. You beat the Seahawks week 1, which is now looking like one of the most impressive victories of the year, going to Seattle and winning. But I don't, and not even getting an Arden Key for a 7th round pick. Why? Like, there's so many injuries that this team has faced. And there was actual replacements out there. The most available position this deadline was edge, right? Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Arden Key, Trey Hendrickson. There were guys out there at that edge rusher spot. Oh, Jermaine Johnson, that's another one. Not making a move for any of them makes no sense. Now you are forced to just go at this with Bryce Huff and Sam Okwanu, and that's it. Really hated the fact that the Niners didn't make any moves, especially because there was offensive lineman available too. With this team's interior offensive line problems, Jackson Power Johnson from the Raiders was rumored to be available. No dice. Nick Allegretti and some other Commanders lineman was available. No dice. Another loser I have, the biggest individual loser of this is Breece Hall. He very clearly stated he wanted out, and he was the only player who wanted out who did not actually get out. Actually, no. Quinnen Williams wanted out. But Breece Hall very clearly has wanted out for a while. And no team was willing to meet his asking price of a 3rd round pick. I think the Chiefs' rumored offer was a 4th that could be a 3rd. The Jets declined. I also have Hendrickson on here because he's stuck on Cincinnati now. Good news for him is he'll be able to pick whatever team he goes to in the offseason. And then I also just have all of the AFC contenders. The fact that Kansas City didn't try to get one up on some other team. The fact that Buffalo didn't. The fact that New England didn't. New England especially was I would have liked a receiver trade for them, even though Diggs and Kayshon Boutte have been really good. One more would have been nice. Any sort of edge rusher, something to add to the defense would have been nice. Maybe not edge rusher. But the fact that they didn't make any moves kind of surprised me because of how their conference is shaping up.